These cranberry scones are absolutely delicious and they are great for snacking, for brunch, or even breakfast. And they come together pretty easily with just a few ingredients. Let me show you how to make it. So into a bowl, we're going to measure out some all-purpose flour. We'll add in some baking powder and salt. I'll leave the full ingredient list in the description box. We'll also add in some sugar and then mix this together. Then go in with our very cold cubed butter. So we want to cube the butter so it's easy to incorporate into the flour. And we're using very cold butter. Yes, this is what will make the scones flaky. So we'll mix that in until there are no large chunks of butter in the flour, and then we'll go in with one orange zest. So we'll mix that in and then go in with the rest of the ingredients. So we're going to beat one very cold egg, add that in, and also add in some evaporated milk. The milk also should be very cold, and then we'll go in with the cranberries and then we'll mix this together. So the dough is going to be a little bit sticky, but that's exactly what we want. This will make the inside of the scone to be soft, and then the outside it's going to be flaky because of the cold milk and butter. So we're going to properly flour a work surface, then transfer the dough to the work surface, and then we'll add in just a little bit of flour to the dough so that it's not too sticky to the hands. And then we're going to form the dough into a circle, but the circle shouldn't be too flat as we want the dough to have a little bit of height. Then after forming into a circle, we are going to cut this into 8 parts. Now I'm using a dough cutter here, but you can also use a knife, but make sure you properly flour the dough cutter because it will stick to the dough as the dough is still sticky. And then we're going to cut this into 8 parts. And if the dough cutter is sticking to the dough while cutting, just apply more flour to it so that it doesn't stick. So after cutting into 8 parts, we're going to dust off any excess flour from the bottom of the dough, and then we'll transfer it into a plate lined with parchment paper. So make sure the plate is freezer friendly as we'll be freezing this before baking. So we're going to freeze this for about an hour, and this is what it looks like after freezing. At this point, you want to preheat your oven to 180 degrees Celsius or 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and then we'll transfer the scones to a baking tray lined with parchment paper. And then we're going to be brushing the top with some evaporated milk, but you can also use egg if you prefer, and this will give the scones that golden brown color. So after brushing with the milk, we're going to go ahead and bake this for about 25 minutes, and after baking, this is what they look like. So we're going to allow them to cool down for a bit before taking them off the baking tray, and our scones are ready to be enjoyed with any drink of choice. And look at how beautiful this look, and they taste absolutely amazing, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. So to store the scones, you're going to allow them to cool down completely, and then you can pack them in a Ziploc bag and then transfer to your fridge or freezer. This will last in the fridge for up to like 4 to 5 days. Or you can leave it in the freezer, and then whenever you're ready to use it, you just store them in the fridge overnight and then microwave for 30 seconds, and they're ready to be enjoyed. So if you try this recipe, let me know what you think about it in the comment section, and I'll definitely come your way again with another mouth-watering recipe.